approved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are accepted. Next is the acceptance of the minutes of the special board meeting held on November 9th.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved to accept and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next item, and I think we're going to go out of order, is the union president on with us this evening?
Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. His brother was getting promoted, and he had to rush.
I know. He said he was going to try to get there for between 6 and 6:15. Okay. I was just trying to move that along a little bit. So we'll hear from the new union president at our next regular meeting. Chief of Police report. Is the chief on?
Yes, Dan, I'm on. How are you?
All right, sir. The floor is yours.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. Just a couple things I wanted to touch on. So I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary, and I just wanted to say that it's been a good year. Thank you, Commissioner.
Congrats. Congrats.
A year, that's amazing.
Yeah, December
Exciting.
1st will be 1 year.
Wow.
So it's been a pleasure. I enjoy working with you guys. I think we made significant progress this past year, and we have much more to do. Because of when I was sworn in last year, some of the things that I wanted to do that I had discussed during the selection process, I couldn't do because of the shift bids and union restrictions. Things had to be in prior to, I believe, November 10th. So there are certain things that I couldn't do. So going into 2024, I think we're going to be able to implement some of the things that I wanted to do to make us, I think, more efficient and more stable and more cost effective. So we're going to be able to implement some of those things for our 2024. We're going to streamline things a bit more. And I think it's going to make us much more efficient in how we operate. I spoke to Commissioner Roach earlier, and I'd like to, if we can, put together something where I can meet with you guys individually just to discuss some things in person in my office. And he's going to work that out with you guys. Couple things I wanted to touch on really quick is our crime stats. So keep in mind, obviously, the year to date, we're slightly above last year's pace, where we're roughly at like 7% increase in our overall crime from this time versus last year. And I make no excuses, but I just want to add we're probably 125 cops less, or at least 100 cops less than we have been. However, the last several months, I would say since August, we've been trending in the right direction. So for like the week to date, we are down 35%. And actually, the last 28-day period, we're down nearly 19%. Our shooting incidents continue to be down. Our shooting incidents are down. I need glasses now. We're down. Give me 1 second. We are down 13%, and our shooting victims are down nearly 17%, and our fatal shooting incidents are down 7%. So I think we are trending in the right direction the last 3 months. What we did was, so we saw an uptick like late July, early August. We saw some uptick. So we reshifted some resources to certain areas, that Park and Wood and Orchard Street. We put together some details in. And if you followed our Facebook or the news, we made some significant arrests. There were some operations that we undertook that we arrested roughly 6 people around that Park and Wood. And there's more to come. And we also made significant arrests around the Orchard Street. So I think since that time, we've seen, knock on wood, a steady trend downwards where our crime statistics have trended down the last couple of months. And I attribute that to us being using predictive policing, where we're putting people where we think things are going to occur. And also just being strategizing a bit more on different strategies we've used. Like, for instance, on Orchard Street, one of the things we did, there's a apartment complex over there that was causing significant problems, and it's owned by the YMCA. But what we did was we brought together the leasing company. We brought the health department together. We brought the fire department together. We brought the police department together, and we actually went on site to that location. and we put some strategies in place to help the building managers with some security issues and things like that. And we really did some good work around it. I think that had a big impact on the things we did over there. It was a collaborative effort. And also on Park and Wood, one of the things we did was we worked with the Public Works Department to do some trimming of some trees. We're continuing to work on improving some lighting in that area to address some of the issues and concerns that are occurring over there. So I think those things really helped us. In the last 3 months, we saw the fruits of some of those efforts. Also, I really want to highlight. So we graduated our class of 23 back in September, and they're on the road. They're in the FTO program, and I think having them paired with their FTOs gave us greater visibility. It introduced more officers, and whenever you get new officers, they're much more proactive. So I think that contributed to it. If you just read our stats, our arrest stats in the last several months, those officers with their FTOs have done a tremendous job. And I think all of those efforts have contributed to this trend that we see with crime trending downward. So I'm really pleased to see that occurring. As it relates to the holidays, we have our staff meeting tomorrow. We're going to be introducing some holiday strategies where we're going to hopefully do some more proactive motor vehicle enforcement. We're going to hit our areas where there's some shopping, where shoppers will be going. So we're going to put those plans together tomorrow, and we hope to introduce some efforts Friday night. We'll have some people out there. We continue to focus heavily on downtown. I know Commissioner Roach will be happy to hear that. We continue to focus on downtown, and we've seen some improvements down there. We had that one incident where I think it was kind of a bit of an anomaly, but we continue to see improvements downtown, and so we'll continue working on that. As it relates to our discipline, I think I'm up to date with our discipline. I think we have one discipline case that we were supposed to hear Monday, but that was adjourned on the part of the officer who's not available. But I believe I'm up to date on my disciplines. Labor relations, Linda Cronin, the lawyer from Labor Relations, we work really hard to try and clean those up as quickly as we can. But overall, I think we're trending in the right direction. We introduced a career development model. So we've always had career development in our policy, but we've taken a step further where we've created a career development program where Lieutenant Colazo, Lieutenant Lyons, and Sergeant Campbell actively help officers with developing things that they want to do within their careers. It could be just guiding them into any areas of interest, whether it be traffic or narcotics or other things. They counsel them on resume preparation, what courses they should take in the training academy, and also encouraging them to return to college if need be. We have a program and a partnership with the University of Bridgeport, where not only are we going to be they're hosting us to do our training, but we have an agreement where they're going to give our officers, if they matriculate to a program at the University of Bridgeport, they're going to give a certain number of credits based on their our police academy. So I'm excited about us moving into the new year. We continue to look to add more officers. As you know, we are now going to be able to take lateral transfers. And we should be, I'm hoping by the end of the year, we have a program in place, or a process in place, I should say, where we're able to take on lateral transfers. Lateral transfers are certified officers from other departments who might be interested in coming to our department. And I'm hearing that there's there's good interest in officers from other departments wanting to come to our department, as well as some officers who left who want to return home. So I think that we're trending in a good direction. I'm happy to see Lieutenant Lyons on board. I think she's going to be a great asset. I think you guys are going to be very pleased with her performance, as I've already been. She's taken on a lot of tasks. I got to be cautious not to overburden her, but you know, that's something that we all do with our manpower issues. Everybody's doing more with less. So with that, I'll stop talking and take any questions that you have.
Any questions for the chief?
I have one question, but I see Commissioner Cruz is trying to talk and she's on mute.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Commissioner Willie. I was saying that Commissioner Roach can't see me waving my hand. I realized that. I have, you mentioned something earlier about more lighting. What exactly, what is the protocol or the process? Let's say, I have some concerns about some very, very dark streets that I walk through when I'm walking my two doggies.
Uh-huh.
And honestly, even last night, it's you can't identify people that have dark tinted windows, right? When they just pull up and keep their lights on, their headlights on. And so I don't know what that's all about, but that's been happening a lot to me lately. And
Mhm.
but anyway, I've been walking through some really dark streets. What is the protocol? Do I have to go through council person in my district to request
So,
that?
yeah, so I would think that's one of the protocols, but we can work with UI to see if, and I know Commissioner Roach and I have talked about this with some trying to improve lighting downtown. It's a bit of a process, but it could be UI, public facilities with the lights that are controlled by the city. I think the fluorescent bulbs that the UI put in, sometimes they're not as bright. But that is an issue, and we are looking to and we talked about that for quite a while to try and improve lighting in certain neighborhoods. So I would say yes, definitely check with your council person to advocate for that.
Okay.
It's something that we think will help, and we are actively trying to improve lighting in certain areas where we think it would be beneficial.
Yeah, yeah. Especially in areas where cars are parking, not real, and getting away with just kind of parking there for long hours, doing whatever they're doing in their vehicles because it's dark and it's not lit. But then when they leave, there's a lot of garbage that they leave behind.
That's
Um,
yeah. Commissioner Roach and I had this conversation earlier today regarding something similar. So yeah, definitely. Also, there's environmental factors that also
mhm.
contribute to issues like if there's overgrown trees. Sometimes if we can get public works to trim trees back a little bit, that improves lighting in certain neighborhoods, especially if the trees start to overtake some of the lighting. So things like that are all different strategies that we could use to help improve the lighting, and which will also create safer neighborhoods as well.
Okay, great. I won't keep you too long, but I do have two other questions.
Sure, go ahead. I got
The
time.
other one is when you were on Facebook recently, you talked about home for the Braves, right?
Uh-huh.
You collecting items probably
Mhm.
currently. You mentioned that right now in your report. I'm just wondering how is that going? Because I kind of
Um,
mentioned it to some people and they're like, really? Oh wow, I didn't know about that. So
so what
they would
we
like to
so we yeah, so we just went public with it. Like the officers, we've been collecting stuff internally. So I just did that request. So we did get a call from someone who wants to make a monetary donation. They're going to come in and they want to present the check in person. So we just went public with it. Our officers themselves, I think they went out today and they raised money. So we're going to also be making a financial contribution as well from the department. But right now it's just been internally where officers are
Oh,
bringing
I
in
see.
items to
Okay.
donate. But we went public now, so we're hoping people from the public will bring in
Okay.
items that we can
Is there a
collect.
deadline for that?
No, I mean, there's
No?
always, yeah. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna post on our Facebook page the different items that they need. There's toiletries, different things like that. We'll post, and people
Um,
can go directly to the home for the Brave and drop.
oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
Well, thank you for that. I think it's a
Chief
good
Porter,
cause.
Sure, good.
Chief Porter, there's a Travelers on a Mission. I can connect you with them. They actually do hygiene products and donations to different organizations.
Okay, yeah, sure. You can have them. You can send me the information. We'll get a hold of them. And we'll take stuff, but individuals can go directly to Home for the Brave as well with the different items that they need.
Okay.
Mhm.
And my last question is, you talked about lateral transfers and people who have left that may are considering returning. What is attracting people? I know it may be pretty dull in some other cities, and Bridgeport is very proactive, right? This is where all the action goes on. So maybe that's attracting them. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's we got a great police chief. I think we got a great water police commissioners. Our city's really on the upswing now. Our downtown is doing well. And when you police in Bridgeport, you get the full aspects of what policing is, right? You get to really impact people's lives in a positive way. You get to help people. there's a diverse community here where you can interact with people from all different cultures, different walks of life. So I think if you really want to do real law enforcement, you know, you can be a police anywhere, and it's policing. But if you really want to get the full wide range of what policing is, you come to a city like Bridgeport, you get it. And on top of it, I think we have a decent contract now. Our officers are paid more competitively than as with other departments now. So I think, and then we have opportunities here now. One of the things we're doing, and you may have heard, like we're our specialized units, we're putting different offices. We rotate officers out, so other officers get those experiences as well. So you get to work in specialized units. We have canine officers. And so we're bringing we're introducing new officers into these special assignments. So I think that's what attracts people as well. Things like that.
Yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Commissioner Williams, you had a question for the chief?
Yeah, mine was along the lines of the lateral transfer. And I know you talked about, officers being able to come in from other departments and other cities and towns. In actuality, when you're saying a lateral transfer, are they coming in with their same rank and title, or their years, and what does that consist of? I mean, I know a lateral transfer, but you may have some issues when it comes if we're taking the amount of the years.
Yeah, so we're not taking their years. You still have to start, do your 25 years. I think that civil service, they won't start at the lower end of the pay. Based on their experience, they may be a step above a new police officer. But they won't come with their rank. They'll be a police officer, and they'll have to serve time as a police officer before they can take promotional exams. And I want to be clear, like they're laterals, but there's still a background process. So they still have to go through our complete background process, our psychologicals, our polygraphs. So we're not going to take bad people. We're not going to take people who are, Lieutenant Rosman's on here. He won't let us take bad people. So he's going to do a thorough background to make sure we're getting good officers. We're not taking someone's baggage.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask that question, because when most people hear a lateral, it's just a lateral that person's coming over from their previous, department. And so when we say lateral, we need to make sure that we're clarifying that so people understand that, again, someone could be in discipline and they just want to get out of their discipline, and now they're coming over to Bridgeport. Or someone who is coming in as they're a lieutenant where they are. A lateral for me means that they're coming as a lieutenant over. Yeah. So clarity is key when it comes to these lateral transfers, and what does it really entail, and because I was always under the assumption that when someone's coming from a different department, a different town, that they I know they don't have to go through the whole process. And I hear you when you're saying that's what that lateral will entail, which is fine. They don't go through the academy. They don't have to do that because they're already onboarding. So we don't have to fit that cost of their onboarding and training all over. That I can understand for that, but making sure that the clarity is there for that when it comes to the rank and title and the years.
Yeah, so I want to be perfectly clear, and maybe we need to be more clear about it, is that you still have to go through our process. You don't go over any titles that you had before other than police officer. And we still have the right to reject people if they don't fit the standards that we want here in Bridgeport. So no, it's still a detailed process. And even some of their training, there is going to be some training. They're going to, a couple of weeks in our academy to get familiar with the things that we want and some of our priorities, and not just our ordinances, but some of the priorities that we emphasize in Bridgeport: community policing, community engagement. If you're not into those things, then we're not going to take you here in Bridgeport. So.
Okay, because I know at one time that used to be where Bridgeport residents would get, if they were applying Bridgeport residents, with your Bridgeport residents, you would get, like, just say 50 points or something, so just something like that would, just say if they're, I would think they would still have to go through the academy, because, their training may have been 10, 15 years ago, but they weren't trained the way that Bridgeport trains.
Yeah, so we are going to send to some a simulated
Mhm.
obviously a much shorter academy. In Connecticut, we're all certified police officers, so essentially
Yeah.
we receive all the same training for our certifications. But we think there's specific trainings that we want for people in Bridgeport, and we'll make sure that they get that.
Now, will there be a curriculum for that or outline for that on the specifics? I mean, I know
Yeah,
everyone.
I'm
Okay.
sure we'll put together some specifics on what we want
Mhm.
for Bridgeport. Yes.
Yeah, just to make sure, because if you're looking at the training and the officers have to go through ethics, diversity, and all those things, you want to make sure that you're putting officers on the street that we are, saying that they receive this training,
Mhm.
the proper training, and so the disciplines and things like that, you have a check mark. That those boxes are checked off that they've been properly trained in certain areas or these areas, and they've been signed off on the area.
Exactly, and there's going to be a FTO program where they're going to ride for several weeks with the current
Okay.
officer as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the chief? Okay. Hey, Chief,
Yes, I
thanks
have one.
very much. Oh, I'm sorry, go right ahead.
I'm sorry, I was on mute again. Chief Porter, I appreciate the invitation that's extended to the commissioners to go to graduations and more recently the swear-in of the badges.
Uh-huh.
And I was just wondering, I know that that's a little different than the norm, right? But I understand that that's been done in the past.
Mhm.
It is because they have their badges already and they haven't necessarily completed the academy, right? Are we concerned about officers displaying their badges if they're out
Uh,
somewhere?
So they don't have any police power, and our police academy staff, they're pretty strict on making sure that that stuff does not occur.
Okay.
But no, I definitely understand that. But I think we vetted them enough, and I think they know they have police powers. They should not be displaying their badges.
And I'm sure they have, but I just, maybe because I'm more logical and practical, what was the sole purpose of that? Is it an incentive to kind of empower them to do the best they can through the academy and ultimately finish? Like, what happens if they fail, right? Are they given the opportunity to ensure that they pass?
So we do our best to make sure they pass, right? And if they don't pass, it's not because we didn't, give them every opportunity and
Yes,
resources.
correct.
The reason behind doing what we did that time, we always swear them in before. We usually just do it much more informally at the police academy, where the mayor and I will go over to the police academy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Unaware of that.
Yeah, but what the lieutenant in charge of the academy, Lieutenant Clauser, wanted to do something more at a grander scale than we normally do. But it's something other departments do regularly, where they swear them in before the academy.
No, I
And
thought it was beautiful. I just
I
going forward.
appreciated it. I thought
Yeah.
it was nice also.
We just think that you're right. So we are in a constant competition to make sure officers feel appreciated and wanted and welcome in Bridgeport. And so we want to send that message not only to them, but any potential future candidates. This is how we treat our recruits in Bridgeport. So we welcome them to our Bridgeport family. So I'm hoping that resonates and they don't want to leave and go other places in the future.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief,
Yes,
and
sir.
hey, congratulations on a successful first year on the job, and it's really appreciated, and great work on the lateral transfers. For several years, we've been suffering with lateral transfers because they'd be going in the other direction, and now you've been able to kind of reverse that trend a little bit. So that's all appreciated.
Thank you.
As far as the chief had mentioned, he would like to set up meetings, informal meetings in his office, I believe. So I'll ask the commissioners to contact me anytime after the meeting as to what times might be available. Just need to be mindful that we cannot have 4 or more commissioners at one time, because that would constitute a quorum, which means that a meeting would have to be noticed, and it would be technically a public meeting. So we'll keep that in mind. Again, thank you, Chief. Appreciate it, and looking forward to your continued success.
Thank you.
Wait,
Thank you.
One second, Commissioner Roach, you were
Yes.
stating that so if it's my
Well,
understanding that Chief Porter wanted to meet with the commissioners individually, but you're stating if we
Oh, no,
had.
and that's fine also.
Oh, no, that's why I'm asking, because what you're stating is that if I wanted to go with Commissioner Diaz, we can go together. So
Yes.
I just want to, okay, all right, I just want to make sure, because
It's totally permissive, and not to take up, I mean, we can go, the 6 of us can meet with them individually, but, you know, if it's possible to have 2 or 3 commissioners, at
go at the
once,
same
that would,
time. Okay,
we wouldn't,
okay, I mean, that's why, okay,
we wouldn't take up too much of the chief's time.
correct, correct. That's why I wanted to make sure the clarity on that, so that we're
Sure.
clear on that. So if you wanted to have, like, if Chief Porter, you wanted to give us a slot, let's just say Monday, and you were available 10 to noon.
Mhm.
Something like that, then we, 2 or 3 per day, whatever that slot.
Yeah.
We would sign up for those slots, something like that.
And I spoke to Commissioner Roach, and I don't want to violate the quorum, so 3 is fine. Or if you want to come by yourself, that's fine too. However, you guys want to set it up, I'm okay with it.
We're just trying to accommodate.
Right.
All right.
All
All
right.
right, thanks again, Chief.
You guys.
Thank
Moving
you.
on,
Happy holidays.
moving on,
Happy holidays.
moving on. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving,
Thank
absolutely,
you.
Chief.
Happy
You're doing
Thanksgiving.
well.
Have a good one.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the Internal Affairs Quarterly Report. Lieutenant Rosem, I believe if we can avoid executive session, meaning we won't be touching on any sensitive issues, you can proceed in public session.
Okay, I'll stick with some of the stats, then I won't go into anything very specific unless you guys wanted to go into executive session. So I guess I'll leave it up to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be good.
All right, so
Thank you.
I did email the the September third quarter quarterly report for you guys. I know it's a little late, but we had some scheduling conflicts. I emailed it on the 23rd. If for some reason you don't have it, I'll be happy to send it to you again. So just touch on some of the numbers. As of September 26th, we had 229 investigations. We're currently up to 246. Right now, we're at 99 citizens complaints on the year, 19 chiefs internals on the year. And as I say, we're at 246. So we're constantly looking at patterns and trends to see if we could cut into any of these numbers and really dig into it. But looking at the numbers from this year to 2022, we have a 37% increase in investigations, and then an 84% increase in investigations from 2021. Currently have 141 open cases. And given that, relatively speaking, we are 50% understaffed, I do think we are doing well. Due to the retirements, we lost 6 sergeants and investigators over the last 2.5 years. We gained 2. So every time they retire, their cases need to be passed on. So I did transfer 74 cases from retirees to the current investigators we have now. This year alone, we closed out over 300 cases. So we're working hard, we're working efficient, we're trying to be as creative as we can with the manpower. As the whole department, we're just doing the best we can. As the chief touched on before, we're preparing for backgrounds for laterals. We did reach out to other different departments on how they handle them. I know that Commissioner Williams touched on some items with laterals. We are working in the background on how we're going to handle those, but just rest assured we're going to do a full background. It's the polygraph, the psychs. We do get the training records from the other departments, and we complete what's called a post 51 form. It's very standard for any police officer in the state of Connecticut. They are certified in the state of Connecticut, and that just ensures it's a checklist, ensures that they weren't even under investigation for serious misconduct, malfeasance, or anything like that. So we do a thorough background to make sure that we're bringing on the best of the best. So rest assured that we'll take care of that. As far as disciplinary hearings, the Barrows hearings, we handled and completed successfully 10 of them this year. We have 3 pending. I believe Lieutenant Lyons sent them over to you. If you guys need copies of them, I'll be happy to facilitate that. We have 15 sustained complaints on the year, not just complaints from 2023, but also previous years, some older cases from 2022. 2 of those were chief's internals. I won't go into any details on them. Again, if you want to talk an executive, I'll be happy to talk about that. We also have 2 pending second step investigations. Those should also, we should be working to schedule those as soon as practical. We handled 6 of those already on the year. And I won't go into great detail. I touched on staffing. Please review the quarterly report. We are down to 4 primary investigating sergeants. It is difficult. We are doing the best we can, as the whole department is, but I do feel internal affairs, it plays a crucial, necessary role. When you have strong internal affairs and you're fully staffed, it does serve as a deterrent. We can efficiently, more successfully handle these cases and in a timely manner. There are individuals who are looking to make the move into internal affairs who are able and willing. I'll be happy to speak and execute about specific people transferring in. But other than that, I appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions for the lieutenant?
Thank you, Lieutenant. This
Thank you.
Commissioner. You mentioned retired 6 sergeants and 6 investigators, but 2 have returned, or you're down 2, I should say.
So we're down to 4 primary investigators. Over the last 2.5 years, we've lost 6 members. So, back in 2018, there was 11 members down in internal affairs. There's 2 detectives, a lieutenant, and 8 sergeants. So we're down currently to 4 sergeants and then myself. So we're down to 4 primary investigators and then myself, I've been handling cases myself. We're doing the best we can. We're just being creative on closing out cases the best we could.
Any possibility of filling those 4?
That's why I put it in the quarterly report. I'm requesting for you guys on filling those. I know we had these discussions before, but the transfers and internal affairs is governed by the Board of Police Commissioners.
Right. No, I know you realize you put it in the report, but I don't know what happened since then up until now. Any possibility, any potential officers that want to go into OIA?
Yeah, there's definitely 2 that reached out to me as of last week. They're willing and able to come to internal affairs. I know staffing's an issue, but I guess the ultimate goal would be to bring someone in, train them up, bring another individual, train them up, and do it that way to have a proper level of succession.
Yeah, in the past, the commission has received, like resumes of these officers that want to go into OIA. After, of course, they get supervisory approval and the chief, whatever the process is, that we ultimately see it, and then,
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you guys, if the resumes is what you wish, then I could certainly get the resumes. Some of them provided them to me. I could certainly share them, but I do feel like we're at a crucial step with 4. A loss of another,
Right.
would be devastating.
Well, we appreciate everything you guys do, so we're hoping we're heading in the right direction.
Of course. And I want to say the investigators down here, they are doing a good job. They come in every day, they're working hard, and they're as efficient as can be.
Thank you.
And Lieutenant, as far as and it's coming up on the clerk's report, the 2 second steps and the 3 barrels that we need to address. If you can email us out the information on those, we're going to be hopefully scheduling a couple of evenings to take care of those in the next few minutes.
Yep, absolutely. Sounds good. I'll work with Lieutenant Lyons. We'll get you all that information and just come up with a date that works for all of us.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the idea. Okay, that brings us to the clerk's report. Lieutenant Lyons, we need to schedule, I would imagine, one evening to take care of the 2 second steps, and then, hoping that we can handle the Three Barrows in another evening as well. Unless there are cases that, we feel are gonna be lengthy, but, I understand we should be able to, knock off the Three Barrows in one evening.
I believe so. I think Lieutenant Rosen can give more details if you need, but none of them are serious misconduct.
Yeah, now,
Most of them are
yeah,
minor.
without getting into the details, they're not major hearings. We're not expecting them to be anyway. And with that, if folks could pull out their calendars and maybe we can pick a couple of dates for those meetings.
Are we looking before Christmas?
Yeah, well, I would hope so. Yes.
I was
like I say,
hoping
there's
you say
usually-
after the new year, but I get it.
Well, I tell you, between the chief and Lieutenant Rosen, they've been moving business along as quickly as possible, and the backlog isn't nearly what it used to be. So we've been keeping up on it. So if folks are available, the next, I don't know, maybe the next couple of Tuesdays, let me just throw that out there, and see if we're going to have quorums for.
I'll be available.
For those. Nice. Is anybody not available, say, for next or the next 2 Tuesdays? Is there any issue?
I won't be available for one of those. I have a meeting scheduled.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be available for next Tuesday either.
All
Well,
right.
I won't be available for the 12th.
And the 12th would be out for you. Okay. And I know frankly, I'm not available on the 19th, but
Well, it
I
doesn't
just
have to
mentioned
be a Tuesday.
No, it doesn't have to be a Tuesday. Like I said, I like I was saying, I mentioned Tuesdays because that's our normal meeting night. So, what's everybody's availability, say, for next Wednesday then?
Wednesday I could do.
A week from tomorrow? Any, everybody good with that for the, I would say the second step, only because the union usually requires a couple of weeks for the Barrows hearings, even if they're minor
Are you
ones.
talking about the 29th, a week from tomorrow?
No,
not Thursday.
It'll be for the second steps for a week from tomorrow, which would be the Wednesday, the 29th. Is that workable with everybody?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Lieutenant, you good with that too? Or I should
Yeah,
say
that might be a
Lieutenant.
conflict for me, and the issue is, I'm gonna be away. I'm going away, and I'm gonna be part of one of the second steps. So I can't pass it off to somebody. I apologize.
Me too. I'm gonna
but
be
I'll
away.
I'll be cutting it close.
Okay, cutting it close, meaning you're back on Wednesday, or?
Meaning I'm back on Wednesday, and if there's any delays, I don't want to hold you guys up on a second step, but yeah, I come back.
Would you be available that Thursday, week from Thursday?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, the November 30th, last day of the month. Is everybody else good with November 30th?
Oh, you
I
can
don't
you
think
can
I
proceed
can-
without me. I won't be available. I'm going away. And I won't be back
Okay.
till the 3rd, which is Sunday, but that following week I am.
Okay, for the second step, as long as we can get 4 members there, we can take care of those. All right, let's try to schedule that for November 30th. Lieutenant Lyons, does that work with you?
Yep.
Okay, everybody else, we figure 6 p.m. unless there's an issue with the time.
I
Okay.
may not be able to make it, that's all.
All right, no, that might bring us down to 4, so we'd have to check, but let's call it for November 30th, and hopefully the 4 other commissioners will be able to be in attendance. All right. The following week, there was a problem with that Tuesday, I understand. That Commissioner Cruz, did you have an issue with that particular
No,
night?
I think Commissioner Williams did. I had a problem with the
Commissioner Williams
12th,
did,
the
I'm sorry.
following Tuesday.
Okay, so that, Wednesday, which would be, I believe the 6th, is Wednesday the 6th, Commissioner Williams, okay?
I think she may have stepped away, but that's good for me.
It's good for me
Okay.
too.
No problems with that? All right. Okay, we'll call that, Wednesday, December 6th. Or, oh, geez, I'm sorry. That I won't be able to do December 6th. I just realized that's my wife's birthday. I'll get slaughtered for that. And I'm sorry, folks, Thursday, December 7th.
That's
Works for
good.
me.
No good for
Okay.
me.
All right. So we're looking at, a week from Thursday and then the following Thursday.
Mm-hmm. The 7th and the 14th for barrels?
No, November 30th, and then
Oh.
December 6th for,
Got
Barrows,
Got it.
okay?
The 6th
Yeah.
or the 7th? The 7th is Thursday. The 6th
Yeah,
is.
I
Oh, the
think you
7th
mentioned
is-
the 7th.
I'm sorry, the 7th. I did, of course, I just
Thank you.
made a mistake. All right, Thursday the 7th for Barrows,
Got it.
okay.
Okay.
Lieutenant Lyons, does that work for you?
Does work for me. I will start the paperwork tomorrow. I do have all the files that Lieutenant Rosum and his staff sent over, and I can give them right to you hopefully tomorrow so that you guys can start looking them over.
Fantastic, thank you. Lieutenant Lyons, anything else on the clerk's report?
I do not have anything else.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for the job you're doing so far. It's appreciated, and hopefully we move forward in a favorable manner here. Moving on, we have nothing under new business, old business, or correspondence. We have one letter of appreciation recognizing police officer Danny Soto on his assistance at Cesar Battaglia School during an event there. We have nothing on the main agenda for widows' pension, but we do have an addendum which we'll be getting to shortly. Traffic matters. We have one request of the city traffic engineer to approve the installation of no parking here to corner signs at all approaches to Capitol Avenue and the French Street intersection. Understand there is an issue with parked vehicles at that corner, which limits the sight distance for vehicles, particularly coming off French Street. And the city traffic engineer has recommended that we approve the no parking here to corner signs there.
Okay.
All right, unless there's any questions, I entertain a motion to approve the request.
So move.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. That request has been approved. The second item is a request of the city traffic engineer not to approve a three-way stop at the intersection of Lafayette Street and Gregory Street. The city traffic engineer lists certain items that doesn't meet the criteria. One being a lack of accidents. He also mentions there's not a significant traffic volume to warrant this, and there is adequate sight distance at that intersection. As you may know, that intersection, Gregory Street, is a one-way street. That's why the request was for a three-way stop. Any questions?
I was trying to picture exactly where that is. I can't. I know where Lafayette Street is.
If you travel south from downtown on Lafayette Street,
Mhm.
a couple blocks past the railroad tracks, I think it's 1 or 2 blocks, I guess, it intersects with Gregory Street there.
Oh, yes. Right.
I would waiver to ask to reconsider that, because what's gonna happen is the traffic will pick up now. My church is over there, and that is a high section where there are a lot of churches. And when I leave from church, that great crossing over Lafayette Street it really is a task. And what's gonna happen is when they put Bassick over there, that's gonna be an issue. So we may want to reconsider that, because if you, to really give you a pinpoint, is where the old Warners used to be,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
old Warner
I can
and the
see it.
Warnaco factory. And they
Mhm.
put the apartments over there. So when they put Bassick there, that's gonna be an issue. So I would ask that that be reconsidered, because the traffic is going to pick up and we want to get ahead of the game. And it is already an issue for those who have to cross over Lafayette to get to the, leaving church and get to the highway. So it may not seem like a lot of accident, but it's because people have to, really ease out because sometimes you can't see the traffic coming from those different areas because there are cars parked on there on Lafayette, and it's right down from where the Lafayette daycare is. So
So if I
you-
understand correctly, Commissioner Williams, you're referencing that there's probably more traffic on Sundays because of the churches? And then
there's more,
that
correct.
that traffic will pick up eventually on more days when the
Right, but
school's
it
up.
also picks up when they have events down there at the
Oh, that's
arena.
true. Yeah, that's true.
So you may not see it on a day-to-day, but when the arena, that traffic area picks up and it's heavy over there. So I know they're
Commissioner
saying
Williams,
because there
would
may
you,
not be. Go ahead.
Also, I'm just suggesting you can move to table the item until we get a better handle on it, or you can make a motion not to approve the request, which would then direct the city traffic engineer to
But can I make a suggestion? So would you say the traffic engineer is maybe unaware of what you just said, Commissioner Williams? Or should be made aware of what you
Should.
just stated so that
Correct.
he can reconsider? So
Correct.
probably best to table it and let him support that.
Well, we can entertain a motion to table with the caveat that the city traffic engineer be contacted with the concerns expressed by Commissioner Williams.
I like that.
Is that fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So there's a motion to table on the floor.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Lieutenant Lyons, would you mind dashing off a note to the city traffic engineer, Powell, and explain our concerns from the board, please?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Next, we're going to go to the addendum, which is widow's pension. It's a request from Dolores Dunn to receive a widow's pension effective immediately under Pension Plan A. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The pension request is approved. Before we adjourn, folks, just I know that the chief will probably have some time slots available, but if folks want to send me a times that would be most convenient, shoot me an email and we can take it from there. Is that fair enough?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Unless there's anything further, entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
I
moved.
just before we adjourn, Lieutenant Rosen, I just want to commend you on the quarterly report. Job well done.
Thank you, Commissioner. I appreciate it.
Great. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, folks. Hey, listen. Thank you very much for your patience with my technical difficulties here. And I just hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. And
Happy
with
Thank
that-
Thanksgiving to
Likewise.
everyone
Happy
also.
Thanksgiving to
Happy
everyone.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Okay.
everyone.
You.
And we
Thank
need
you.
a motion to adjourn if all the well wishers out there.
So move.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second it.